Good morning and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio. Today is Saturday, October the 5th. I'm Ringer Senior and I'm here with
Ringer Junior.
Ringer Junior. We're broadcasting our third video of the day, actually, our best bets for college football action, week 6. Hard to believe the season's almost halfway over for the college season. It feels like it's just started, but you would have seen us over the last 3 or 4 weeks broadcasting our best bets for college football, our sides totals, father-son duo, talking sports, all major sports. Great time of year right now. Playoff baseball just kicking off. Wild cards just finished up. Now the divisional series are starting to happen today. College football has been running for the last 6 weeks, and then we got week 5 of the NFL coming in starting tomorrow. So you'll see our video clips for tomorrow as well. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in here. What I will say, however, which I've done on my last 2 videos, is we have 5% play today. We're running at a 9-0 total, 9 wins, 0 losses in our last 9 official plays, 5% on our videos that we've shared over the last 4 weeks or 3 weeks. We're expecting to repeat that today. Had a big blowout, easy totals last night in the UNLV Syracuse game. I already launched 5% play for Major League Baseball, which you can check on our baseball video earlier this morning. That's Wheeler over 17.5 outs today for the Philadelphia Phillies. And today we've got one more 5% play, which I'll share here. Actually, I'll save it to the end of the video. We're going to go ahead and jump right in here in the action. Ringer Jr. is going to kick things off with one of his favorite picks of the day, which is Boise State at home to Utah State. Ringer Jr., what do you like?
I like the Boise State, whatever their team name is, minus 27.5 here. I actually love this pick. I see Genty getting in the end zone 3 or 4 times. I see him staying hot. I see this Boise State team staying extremely hot. I see them winning this game by 35 points. I also see this game being an absolute shootout. My lean is going to be the over 65.5, and my play is going to be the Boise State, whatever the team name is, minus 27.5. Take this as a 4% play.
There you go, 4% play, Boise State. I don't disagree. I think that's going to be a high-scoring affair, and I do think Boise State is going to win by at least 5 touchdowns. Their offense is pretty good, so expecting a big outcome there. Looking at my first game, I'm going to make this as a 3% play. I'm looking at the Ole Miss and the SC South Carolina game. Over under total sitting at 53.5. I've got 2 plays here. Both are actually locked and loaded and in, so I'll share them both. Both are 3% plays. I do like this game going over the total. Ole Miss has a very powerful offense. South Carolina has been known to give up some points. They've been known to shut teams down. But where I'm going with this over is that I think Ole Miss is going to put up a lot of points and also give up a fair amount of points as well. So South Carolina, I think, is capable of getting into the 20s on this specific Ole Miss's defense, if not higher. And I do think this game's going to go over 53.5 for that specific reason. So give me that on a 3% total or 3% play. I'm also going to take Ole Miss's team total over 31. I think they had a little rough game last week against Kentucky. Upset lost, double-digit favorite they lost. I think Lane Kiffin is going to come out with a very strategic game plan and put up a lot of points here. He's capable of scoring in bunches, and I do think the team total is going to get up and over that total of 31.5. So give me 2% or 3% plays. Ole Miss over 31.5, and the total game over 53.5. All right, Ringer Jr., shifting gears over to you, looking at actually that was one of my picks. So that was going to be one of your picks. I just realized that. I'm sorry. Let's jump to the UCF Florida matchup. You like some offense running in this one here, Ringer Jr. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, in this game, I'm going to look at the over 62 here. I think this is going to be an absolute shootout. I think this could get into the 70s. UCF, their first 2 games, their defense was pretty good, but they played New Hampshire, I think, and Sam Houston State, I think. I don't even know what their name is. Anyways, when they played 2 great offenses, they gave up 34 and 48 points. Florida's offense is pretty good. I see them probably giving up 35 points, I'd say, to Florida. I see this game actually being an absolute shootout. So I'm going to look at this game as a 4% play over 62.5.
4%er, there you have it. Awesome. I think that's definitely on one of my leans that I had earlier, one of the side things that I was looking at. So Really good pick there. I think that's going to be could be into the 70s, kind of like a game last night in the Univille Syracuse matchup. I'm going to shift gears, heading to Georgia Tech here against the Duke Blue Devils. Duke's 5-0 in the season. Very surprising to see their record, but they're heading into Georgia Tech, sitting at 3-2. Lines at 9.5 for Georgia Tech here. I really like Georgia Tech here to win by double digits. Georgia Tech has had a couple of really tough matchups. They played Syracuse, lost by 3. They lost to Louisville, top-ranked team, by 12. Their other 2 wins were quite easy. And then Duke, outside of UNC, hasn't really played anybody. And Middle Tennessee State, UConn, UNC last week they lost by 1 in a state battle. I think Georgia Tech is going to really come to make a statement game here. I like them to win by 11, 12 points here. So I'm making this as a 4% play, and I'm going to jump on Georgia Tech. Very strong team, just have been in some really tough matchups in those 2 losses that they had, where they played extremely well at, but just lost. So give me Georgia Tech minus 9.5 as a 4% play. All right, Ringer Junior, I stole your last pick. So do you want to jump in on Clemson under 46.5 with FSU, or do you want to jump in on? Not sure about the Washington game, or do you have any other leans or comments, maybe?
Uh, um, I actually really don't mind this Clemson game under FSU. I see this actually probably being in the 30s. I don't see FSU scoring any points. I actually love this pick. I'm not even gonna lie. Under 46.5. Clemson's probably going to win this game by 15 points, I'd say. Probably being, I don't know, 24-13 type game here. So I actually like this under. I'm going to take that as a 4% play.
There you go. Had my pick down as a 3%er, but you got it as a 4%er. All right, we'll make sure that we post that. Yeah, I definitely think this game's going under as well. 46.5. I think Florida State's in a must-win situation, but they got to come play with their defense. And I think both teams are going to try and control the clock. Florida State's going to try and step up. They're 1-4. They lose today. They're out of bowl eligibility. There's no way they're going to run the table. Got to be at least 6-6 to get into bowl eligibility. So I do think they have a chance, and I do have this as one of my lean picks at FSU 14.5 to cover the spread against Clemson. But I do think this is going to be a much lower scoring game. So good job, Ranger Jr. I like that pick as well. All right, my last pick that I'm heading out to Washington. Very interesting matchup against the Michigan Wolverines. Number 10 Michigan heading into Washington. Washington's at 3-2. Tough loss last week to Rutgers. A very tough loss at home to Rutgers. Tough loss the week before to Washington State. It's a much better team than what their record is. Michigan's flying all the way out west to play in Washington, the Pacific Coast, and I think this is going to be a tough fought battle game in the trenches, low scoring. Michigan only gives up 12.5 points at home. I think their defense is going to come to play. Michigan's not going to be able to get on the board as much as they would like to. This line opened as plus 1.5 point favorites for Washington to start the week. Sharp money's all come in on Washington. I got this one in at 1.5. It's already moved to 2.5 in just a matter of a few hours from this morning. So I'm going to take this as a 4% play. Washington at home to cover the 2.5, which is 1.5 that I got in against the Michigan Wolverines. So, do you want to cover off the last play or the 5%er?
No, you can't.
All right, so last play, our 5% play. So we already got one 5% play. As I mentioned, we're 9-0 in the season on our video post for our 9% plays. I'm heading to Vanderbilt here in the Alabama-Vanderbilt matchup. Line's in at 54.5 for the over/under total. Alabama, I believe, is a 23.5 point favorite. I'm not taking the side here because I think there's lots of backdoor cover possibilities for Vanderbilt. Could be a letdown game for Alabama, coming off that huge win against Georgia and putting up all those points. But I do think that Alabama's offense is still going to be able to roll. Vandy's been able to score some points, which is the reason why I'm looking at the total here. I think Alabama is going to probably put up 40, and that means all we need is 16, 17 points from Vanderbilt. Could be backdoor second half, fourth quarter. Alabama closing the win out, letting Vandy score a touchdown or two at the end. I think most of their points will happen in the second half for Vandy after they're way behind in the game. So Really love this play. 5%er, Alabama Vandy, over 54.5 against later game this afternoon, I think at 5:15 Atlantic time kickoff. So there you have it. There's our plays. 5% play on Alabama. We got Boise State. We got Boise State covering 27.5 as a 4%. We got Georgia Tech 4%, 9.5 cover over Duke. We got Washington 4% cover, 1.5 over Michigan. We've got over in the. I missed one game. Did I talk about the Minnesota game? No, put that in as a lane. We got over 53.5 in the SC Ole Miss game. We got over their team total as well, 31. We've got Clemson, FSU under 46.5. Ringer Jr. likes UCF, Florida over 62 as a 4% play. And then quick leans before we wrap up here. And Ringer Jr. has a MLB game that he wants to slide in there. FSU plus 14.5, Cal plus 10.5, SC plus 9.5, Minnesota plus 8.5 against USC, and I like Penn State to cover the 28 as well, 27.5 points as well. And I also like the USC over 47.5 in the Minnesota game as some leans that we'll take a look at. But I'll turn it over quickly to Ringer Jr. before we wrap up. He's got a play in the Detroit-Cleveland baseball matchup.
Okay, in this game, I'm gonna look at the Nerfy as a 3% play. Detroit has had in their first two games of the playoffs extremely low scoring games against Houston. I think that Bobby's going to shut down the Detroit offense in the first inning, and Holton is a relief pitcher. I see him probably getting through the first inning with Cleveland scoring no runs. So I think this is going to be a Nerfy as a 3% play.
Like it. You missed my playoff video earlier, and that was 3% play that we had posted. So
really?
we're on the same page there, Ringer Jr. Way to go.
No way.
Yeah, there you have it. Please like, subscribe, share your YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. College football action. Enjoy your games. Enjoy the sides. Like them, cash them. Follow us at Twitter, CollinRing12. We're on a 9-0 run, expecting to go 10-0 after the baseball game, 11-0 after the Alabama game. We're going to keep riding this streak. If you're not watching our videos, you're totally missing out. Have a great day and a great weekend. Check us out tomorrow for NFL